come home after a long day of work. You're exhausted and tired, burned out. It's time to relax, you say to yourself. That's why you turn on the TV. Time flies and before you know it, it's already late. You know you should go to bed. You know you should get some rest. But the thought of getting up tomorrow and going to work again is absolutely draining. So you scroll on social media for a bit and you get lost there. Before you know it, it's past midnight and you know you should really go to sleep now. That's why you force yourself to go to bed. But you have troubles falling asleep because your mind is filled with all that nonsense that you just fed your brain before closing your eyes. So you sleep poorly and you wake up tired. The thought of work, unbearable. That's why you don't instantly get out of bed. No, you hit snooze and you fall asleep again. Suddenly, you're almost already late for work. You leave your house in a rush. Stress already hits you on the way to work. Day after day, it's just the same endless loop. You don't see a way out. You feel trapped, empty and lonely. There's one thought which you cannot shake off out of your mind, and it's this. Is this all there is to life? You want a way out. You want to change, but every time you try, you fail. You always fall back into the same old patterns. The truth is, no one is coming to save you. Only you can stop the cycle. The good news, you can change everything. You just need the right strategy. This story is from my own life. For the longest time, that was my reality. That was me. It got to the point where I even wondered if I am depressed. Until I was so fed up, I just couldn't take it anymore. I couldn't bear the weight any longer. I reached a point where I would either break and give up or decide to change and find a way out. And I chose the latter. I began a journey, the search for myself, looking for the answers to the questions of who am I? Why am I here? What is my purpose? What do I want from life? How do I want to spend my time? What do I want to do with the time I am given on this earth? Fast forward 2 to 3 years and I have completely transformed my life. I'm now diligent and driven, full of positive energy and more confident than ever. I have finally created the man I am proud to be. Gone are the days of lethargy, being stressed and feeling depressed, anxiety, negativity. And you can do the same thing. So in the next few minutes, I am going to tell you how I went from being a lonely, lazy gamer to a charismatic high achiever. Along with my personal story, I will also share the most important tools and methods which I used to achieve this transformation. By the end of this video, you will have simple and actionable tips which help you to break free from the same situation. Like many young people, I started an office apprenticeship at 15. It was a normal job in a company I liked. Nice colleagues, stable conditions. But soon I realized that sitting at an office for 9 hours a day is not really for me. I felt trapped, staring out of the window, wishing I was outside, active and alive. But that wasn't even the worst part. The older colleagues who had been doing this for all their lives, for decades, they seemed to be just as trapped as I felt. I often thought to myself, is this what my life is going to be? After work, I escaped into a virtual reality. Video games. There I could be whoever I want. I was successful and it was fun, until eventually not even that was enough. So I replaced this escape with a new one, which was traveling. I literally spent every cent I would earn on adventures abroad. It gave me a glimmer of hope, always something to look forward to, which was a reason to make sense of the many hours I would sit in that office. But deep down I knew this couldn't be everything. In my country, army service is compulsory for all men. So I decided to join the paratroopers. And that was the first time I had a mission, a goal, something to work towards. And I felt a spark of motivation and inspiration. To join the paratroopers, you need to be extremely fit. That's why I trained very hard every day, ready to pursue that path. Then came a back injury, and that dream shattered instantly. Once again, I was left directionless. But I didn't give up. I went traveling again. And on my travels, I made the decision to pursue an old childhood dream of mine, becoming a pilot. At that time, I was around 17, 18 years old. And I would picture myself in my mid-20s, and I thought that by then I will have life figured out. I will have the job I love, I will make a decent salary, I will have the body and the aesthetics of my dreams. But the truth was, I didn't do anything to reach those goals. I was living under the illusion that I still had plenty of time. At 18, I finished my apprenticeship. I worked at the same company for a few more months, and then I set off to travel again, this time for an extended period of time. These travels really did open my eyes, especially in South Africa. I saw people living in a completely different reality without the many privileges which we take for granted here in Europe. The image of a young man my age sleeping on the streets in torn clothes is etched into my memory to this very day. It made me realize how good I had it and that I wanted to do so much more with my life. After South Africa, I traveled through Australia for half a year, and it was beautiful. At the same time, this feeling of wanting to get ahead and pursue my goals and my dreams and make something out of my life, that would never leave me. So back in Switzerland, I took another office job, this time at the airport. At first, I thought shift work and the vibrant environment would be an improvement. But soon, the same question returned. Is this really all there is? I was young, I was full of energy, I still am. And I just couldn't imagine spending the rest of my life in this hamster wheel. The thought of becoming a pilot wouldn't leave me. Then a friend of mine completed the Sphere program, which is like a program by the Swiss Air Force to find young talents. And he inspired me to try it too, because I thought to myself, if he can do it, then I can do the same thing too. This was one of the most important realizations of my life, because up until this point, I would always just dream of becoming a pilot, but I wouldn't do anything to pursue it. And the realization that I can do it is what led me to take action. So I signed up for the test to join the same program. I began studying and training with absolute discipline, fully focusing on this single goal. Even after a long night shift, when I would come home at like 1 in the night, I would still sit down and study math and physics and spatial reasoning, just to name a few. And no one knew about my plan. I didn't even tell my family about it. I wanted the results to speak for themselves. I did that for a few months, and it paid off. I got accepted into the program. I went through the flight course and got an official recommendation to become a pilot. To this day, this is one of my proudest moments of life. It was the first time I had a goal and I pursued it, and I had proven to myself of what I'm capable of. For the first time, I felt like I had achieved something significant, because getting one of these recommendations is quite hard. And now, as I was holding it in my hands, I felt like finally I had something which promised me an escape from the endless office routine. And then came COVID, and with it, the end of my dream of becoming a pilot, because all the airlines would suddenly stop recruiting new talent. And once again, I was left without direction. Once again, I had to start anew and figure out what to do. So back to my everyday life, I started training to become a social worker, especially encouraged by those around me. They all said that I had a talent for it, which is true, because I love people and I get along very easily with almost anyone. But soon I realized that this work didn't fulfill me. So by the end of 2021, I hit rock bottom. I was unhappy in my job. I had conflicts with my family and friends, and in my relationship too. And physically I was at my weakest. I was skinny, always tired and lazy and feeling like shit. Financial problems made it worse. Because as you know, when you are studying, you don't earn a lot. I was feeling lost and I didn't see a way out. Then came the turning point. One evening, I was sitting alone in my room, scrolling through Netflix, looking for a movie with which I could distract myself at least for a few hours so I could escape the reality I didn't want to face. I came across a documentary called I'm Not Your Guru by Tony Robbins. The trailer touched me deeply, and for a very long time I finally felt some sense of motivation and hope again. I watched the film and it changed my life because I realized I had to take my destiny into my own hands. From then on, everything changed. I immersed myself in the world of self-improvement. I read endless books, watched countless videos, and worked on myself relentlessly, physically, mentally, and emotionally. I began setting clear goals and channeling all my energy into building a new life. Today, I am the man I always wanted to be. I am healthy, strong, and mentally focused. I pulled myself out of this dark swamp, and I can say with confidence now that I am ready to help others do the same. Because I know there are many people out there who are going through exactly what I went through. I know this pain. I know this feeling of despair, this hopelessness. But I also know there is a way out, and you are not alone. So let's clear the obstacles together. And let's build a life you can be proud of. Enough about me, because this video is about helping you achieve the same thing. Let me share with you the core principle that shaped my self-improvement journey. Applied correctly, this principle will show you why your life currently isn't what you want it to be, and how you can break out of the swamp of negativity and distractions. Principle 1. The world is not good or bad. The world is as you are. You think life is happening to you. You believe you're not in control. Your life is filled with negativity, and you don't realize that your internal dialogue is creating the reality which you experience. Up until now, you didn't know why. Let me break it down for you. As a human, you only have total control over one thing: your thoughts. These thoughts drive your emotions, your actions, and ultimately your results. This famous quote explains the process very clearly. Your thoughts become your words. Your words become actions. Your actions become habits. Your habits become your character. And your character becomes your destiny. It is a self-reinforcing loop. Negative thoughts lead to corresponding actions, which in turn disappoint you, leading to even more negative thoughts, ultimately shaping your destiny. The first principle you will use to change your life is called the art of focus. Your thoughts are influenced by external factors. Your mind reproduces whatever you feed it. This applies to what you eat, but even more importantly to the information, people, environments, actions, and distractions you expose yourself to. What you focus on shapes your experience of reality. So answer this. Is your focus on the negative? What's difficult, what's not working, what's missing? Or is it on the positive? What's good, what you want, what you're grateful for? Let's talk about thought patterns. What many people don't understand is this. Our thoughts determine how we perceive the world around us and how we shape our lives. Negative thoughts can trap you, block you, and drain the energy you need to move forward. Positive thoughts, on the other hand, open up new possibilities. They give you strength and help you to reach your full potential. So let's look at some examples. Negative thoughts could be, I can't do this. I'm not qualified enough to do this. I'm not good enough to do this. I will never be able to do this. Or why does it always happen to me? Everything is against me. Thoughts like these are like poison to your mind. They keep you small, they sabotage your progress and make you feel helpless. You start to believe that you're not in control, and that is the end of it all. Now imagine you replace these thoughts with positive, empowering alternatives such as, I am capable of improving. I have all the time and energy I need to reach my goals. I control my reactions and how I handle situations. There's always a solution and I will find it. Do you notice the difference? These thoughts, they give you power. They shift your energy and your mindset. Suddenly, you no longer feel like a victim of your circumstances, but like someone who actively shapes their life. It's about becoming aware that you have a choice. You can either stay stuck in the swamp of negative thoughts, or you can choose to shift your mindset and focus on the positive. Because both is always there. What you focus on, that is your choice. Of course, this doesn't mean that you should sugarcoat everything. It means becoming aware of your thoughts and consciously directing them in a way that serves you. Every time you catch a negative thought, ask yourself, is this thought serving me? If not, replace it with something which gives you strength. And that is the key. Taking control of your thoughts is the first step towards steering your life in the direction you want. Let me tell you a quick story about focus. When I was traveling in Australia, I went on a road trip with a group of other travelers and we explored the jungle and national parks of Cairns in the very north of the country. Naturally, we spent a lot of time in the car. The local group members often played a game which they called Spotto. The rule was very simple. Every time you see a yellow car, you shout Spotto, and whoever shouts it first gets a point. Everyone was on the lookout for yellow cars, and even after the game was over, everyone kept on noticing yellow cars. What has changed? The yellow cars have always been there, but now the focus was on them, and that is why they came into our awareness. Do you understand now? When you focus on the negative, you'll bring more of the negative into your awareness, and that is what you experience. As I mentioned in my personal story, there was a time in my life when I was also trapped in the spiral of negativity. It got so bad that I constantly beat myself up, and I even started to question life itself. Then I learned about the power of attention in one of Tony Robbins' lectures, and immediately began applying it. This process can be broken down into 3 phases. According to Shetty, they are called spot, stop, and swap. Spot means recognizing the unwanted thought pattern. That's the first step. Then stop, pause, and ask yourself, do I want this thought? Does it serve me or does it harm me? And then swap. Replace the thought with an empowering one. To keep it simple, I used to call this focus shiften. So every time I caught myself falling back into negative thinking, I would notice it and then I would say to myself, focus shiften. And I consciously redirected my attention to what I wanted in my life. Easy example. Whenever I wanted to do something new, my mind would always take me to, I don't know how to do it, I'm not qualified enough. Then I would say, focus shiften to, there is a solution and I will find it. Here's an actionable item for you. After this video, you are going to write down exactly what you want to remove from your life. Go into detail here. Everything you see and hear has a direct impact on you. So once you have this list, replace each item with a positive counterpart. For example, negative music, like rapping about drugs and sex, gets replaced with empowering motivational talks. Alcohol and drugs gets replaced with a healthy lifestyle. Fast food gets replaced with healthy meals. Being lazy and sitting at home is being replaced with activity of the body. I understand that these things might seem very distant and very far, but I want you to write down now the ideal life which you could live. We will have a look at the strategy and how you can achieve that later, trust me. You are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with. Therefore, people who negatively influence you will be removed from your life, making room for new ones. Because you need people around you who believe in you and support you. Self-destructive thoughts will be replaced with self-empowering ones. This simple action will change your entire reality in a short time. Of course, you will not become successful overnight, but you will feel better day by day. Consistency is key here. It literally rewires your brain anew to serve you better. Our brain, if not programmed consciously, will always automatically fall back into survival mode, which is looking for what is not right, looking for trouble and danger, which is what has allowed us to survive for so long. Luckily, we don't need that any longer today. Call to action. To ensure you actually change your life and you get positive benefits out of this video, I want to make something very clear. I am here to help and support you. I want you to comment below what you want to remove from your life and what things currently still influence your thoughts. I'll read through your comments and I will give you my personal advice. In the future, I will create more videos like this with tips that have helped me to turn my life around. I could give you so many more tools and strategies and theories about how to improve your life, but to keep this one rather short, I'm gonna stop here now. I hope you found value in this. And if you did, please consider subscribing. And don't forget to always remember who you are and what you're capable of. See you next time.